All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the weekly collective reading. It's great to see you. My name is Nicholas Ashbaugh. We're going to be taking a look at the next 7 days, focusing on the energy of Pluto today by popular demand at 1, Pluto in Aquarius. And we'll always start as at the beginning here with my channeled messages. So today I have some extra memberships that I will gift as well. So make sure that you have subscribed. And when you see a gifted membership, it usually gives you an option to opt in the future. So if you can't get it this time, you can get it next time. I do it twice a month. All right, everybody, let's get started. We'll begin with channeled messages. Everything that you're going to hear today, by the way, is for the collective. That means everyone. There are a few breakdowns where we will look at basically the elements, but otherwise this is for everybody that's present. All right, so really active dreams over the past couple of nights. What I picked up on last night was the energy of love. It was a continuation of what I got in the Sagittarius reading, which it may behoove you just to listen to some of the channeled portion. What I talked about for Sagittarius was about the importance of being able to express love, especially if somebody says, I love you. Sometimes it's hard to reciprocate that, even or especially when you feel it. And Spirit again came through kind of underlining the importance of love. So the Sagittarius one happened right around the sort of Aquarius and Pluto, but this is the continuation of it. So what I saw was it's almost like a blanket or a comforter. Spirit was showing the energy of cocooning that around you. It is good for manifestation. It is good for protection. It elevates your energy. Love is the language of the universe. And much like the Lover's card, it can help you pull in that which you seek. Your self-worth, your self-respect, it creates the foundation for self-worth and for positive relationships in your life. So, I mean, these are really beautiful messages, and I don't focus on love, but love has been a very dominant theme over the past 48 hours or so. So we're going to continue that message today. Okay. Next piece. So this was interesting. For any of you that might, I don't know if they do this overseas as well as the United States, but there are certain states in the US that have these grooves on the highway, and they are purposely put there to wake you up. Particularly for those that haul freight like trucks and things like that, but even just drivers late at night. So what happens is you'll hit all of these grooves on certain interstate highways, and it kind of like if you're asleep, you're going to wake up. So that's what I saw in my mind's eye. And the Two of Swords is featured here because sometimes we think I'll do that tomorrow, or if I just ignore it, it will go away. And this sort of grating energy that I picked up on is saying, no, you have to deal with something right now. Because what I saw next was very specific. It's about, for some of you, there's a rerouting energy. You're saying, I'm going to go from here to here. For some of you, there could be a connecting flight. You have to talk to someone or meet someone to allow for this big sort of expansion to happen, and you can't afford to be late. So this week in particular, it's about being on time, maybe initiating conversations or meetings. And the delay, if you don't, was by the power of 3. It could be 3 hours, 3 days, 3 months, hopefully not 3 years. But it's really important to be punctual. And that's why I put the Knight of Swords, fast moving. And that's why the previous one was about sort of the wake up call. So I think it's really vital for you to take a look at how you're spending your time and energy, making sure that if you are hitting the snooze button on something, that now is the time that you actually say, you know what? This is important, whether it's something for your health, something for your career, something for your relationship. This week, you're going to take that head on, okay? Now is the time to show up. So lots of energy around love and getting things going. And now let's talk a little bit about Pluto, which is going to be our special topic. So we'll take a deep dive in this a little bit later. Yes, God of Death. Later became sort of merged with Hades. But anyway, as the ruler of the underworld, of course I would feature the Death card here because it is about cycles in your life. And I very much interpret, as most tarot readers, death as not just an end, but a beginning. It's like a revolving door. It's going to open up something new. A couple of fun facts. The planet, or dwarf planet at this point, has a very erratic orbit. It's I think it's the only one in our solar system that crosses another I think at Neptune, right? So there's a certain period of time, 20 or 30 years, where it actually is the second to last large body. It's dwarf planet in our system, and then it's the last. So it kind of plays this back and forth energy with, which I thought is kind of cool. And it's a very long orbit. So 248 Earth years, I should say, for one solar revolution. It's a long time. So this is about the long game, really focusing on changes that take time to make and that are going to affect things in the distance, but that's okay. Like, this is really about making sure that it's not just immediate gratification, right? So let's see. Oh, you guys are saying you can't see me? Oh, I see what you're saying. Give me just a moment here. It's kind of breaking my concentration, but we'll fix this. So this is for everybody that subscribed. You got this. Just give me 1 second and we'll go public on this. Thank you so much for letting me know. Okay. Should be all right now. Everyone should get notifications. All right. So a very good reason to be a subscriber. All right. Back to what I was talking about here with Pluto. So healing the shadow and looking at long-term plans for change, that's also really important. And this is where you can basically focus on disruption, change, and growth for your higher self for the better. And these changes will basically help you get into a better path. If you've been feeling stuck, sometimes what will happen is you have no choice but to basically go in a new direction. Okay? All right. So thank you everybody for joining. It is public now. By the way, to Dakota, you can always text me if something like that happens again. I think you probably did. You just did. It was after the live. So thank you for that. And it was featured on the probably on the main page. So you can always go to my main YouTube page when that happens, but you all did the right thing. This is just one more. It's been a very interesting, for me this past week. There's some major shifts even coming into my life as well. So I've already noticed that energy of disruption, which we just talked about. So let's give everybody that just joined a moment to be a part of this. Welcome. You can actually scrub backwards and watch it from the beginning so you can get all those channeled messages, especially while I'm shuffling cards, and then eventually catch up to me. So I'm going to wait a while to gift memberships since I don't think we only have maybe half the amount of people here that are going to show up. So we're going to start off with the 7-day forecast, and then we will go to the next portion after that. All right, welcome everybody. Good to see you. Let's get started. All right, I'm choosing a black and white deck here for this because when we're looking at energy around Pluto, even though this isn't the main portion of the reading, it's important to be able to see shadow and light. All right, welcome everybody. Let's just focus on being here now. I realize we had a technical glitch at the beginning. It'll help me just to focus now if we don't keep talking about it. But I always feature it as the main video on my main page, very top one, except if you're looking at it on the TV, okay? I do need to focus on the cards now, so let's do that. We're gonna start off here with Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, okay, folks, we're going to take it day by day here, minute by minute, and focus on what's going through here. So 7-day forecast beginning with this Sunday. We have the Knight of Pentacles, and this Knight card is reversed. So this is a chance for you to reevaluate your time and energy expenditures. So what are you putting your energy into, and is there a tangible return on that? This is also a chance for you to take, I actually really love how he has a key around his neck there as a necklace. It's a chance for you to take something and say, you know what, I want to invest in myself. So whenever any of the Pentacles court cards are reversed, it is self-focused. And when I'm looking at you, that can be developmental. When I'm looking at someone else, it could be that they're self-focused, they're selfish. But when I'm reading for the collective here, it's saying take some time to really create stability in your life. Look at your investment of time and energy, and don't be afraid to invest in yourself and ask for something. There very may well be a lack of time, energy, or resources, and you're going to call that to attention. The cool thing here is you have the key to make it work. Whatever challenge you're faced with, you can make it work. So today is the perfect day to do some online research, to talk to somebody, to just brainstorm, to lay down the foundation, maybe even to initiate it by sending out an email or a text. And that's going to be the necessary shift that you need to do. Okay? So let's now go into what you can how this is going to help you with Monday. So Monday is a card of success, the Three of Pentacles. It's success and recognition and a lot of good things happening. So the seeds that you plant today definitely come through on Monday. So let's talk about this. We have Three of Pentacles energy, and it's a tug of war in this particular deck, which I like. The tug of war game, which most of you probably have played back in, primary, elementary school, etc. It really depends on the collective energy of the team behind you, right? So everybody has to really give it 110% and pull at the same time. And then it's a kind of back and forth energy here. So there is group work that's going to be important. And there always is sort of a collaborative energy with the Three of Pentacles, but it isn't always illustrated. So don't be afraid to reach for something, but don't feel like you have to do it all on your own. There also needs to be a captain to make this work. So you may step into a leadership role, and Monday is kind of establishing that foundation for you. There are a lot of people that want the same thing, competition. That's what I'm actually getting with this Three of Pentacles. If there's a way to possibly do, because it almost reminds me of the Five of Wands, where there's too much like duplicative energy. If we can get out of the tug of war and actually get into, here's where we can do it together. Here's where our overarching goals are, sort of focused. I think that can help. So tangible facts, details, put it into writing, find a way to show people a better way. Don't really focus so much on competition, but if there is a push or a pull, make sure that it's a collective push or pull, and that's going to help you. This is also a great card for documenting things, for writing, for planning, for sketching. Blueprinting, anything where you can take an idea from your head or your heart and basically sketch it out. This is what this is all about, okay? And yeah, I see someone talking about the team values. That's important. Is there a team morale? Are there collective team values? Is there a team? If not, this is a day to put it together, all right? Unusual, but it makes sense because there always is something that you can learn too. So as we're looking at all of these sort of lessons from Pluto today too, it's how can I work better and smarter and more collaboratively with others. So I really like what we see in this sort of story so far. Setting things in motion, working on yourself a little bit, reading, researching, trying to set the tone for everybody else. And then by the time Tuesday comes along, we actually do see people heading in a very kind of organized formation here. So once everything starts to point in the right direction, Eight of Wands, things are taking off. This also connects to the channeled messages, migration, change of rerouting, right? You spend some time here, and it might be for some of you a moment to think, what am I doing? Do I want to do this instead? Should I explore this instead? And I'm definitely getting sort of that epiphany or wake-up call that some of you are going through as well. With the Eight of Wands, this is also collective energy, and we see it here. We don't always see it in all of the illustrations. So I think one thing here to also do is just make sure that, again, there's organization and delegation. And if you feel like there's too much or too little, hopefully you're talking about that today, but if not, there's another chance to do it then. And don't be afraid to take a pause or slow down to make sure, just kind of like a GPS in a car, that you're not just blindly going forward at the same pace in the same direction, but maybe there needed to be a course adjustment as well, okay? We have a lovely strength card at the middle of the week, Wednesday. It's asking you to check in with your own health. A strength card in the upright position is about, having the strength, the integrity, the power, the instinct to basically make anything happen. And even if something would normally intimidate you, you're going to be okay. Again, pulling a little bit of the Sagittarian reading in here because some of these themes are connected. I talked about coming out from beneath the curtain, kind of like the wizard behind the curtain, and just showing up and connecting, using the heart, using just your intuition and instincts. I'm going to talk more about instincts with this today. Now, this is also about fatigue when reversed. So for some of you, obviously it's been a busy beginning of the week here. Don't be afraid to pivot and take a little bit of a rest, to slow down, and to also talk to people about just self-care if you need to. This is also an encouragement not to feel like you have to fix or convince or boss someone around. Queen of Wands reversed, Empress reversed, and Strength reversed. They are very, very strong and sometimes overbearing energies when reversed. And so good leaders know exactly how to push, where to put the lines, and then when to kind of back off and say, well, I've given them everything that they need. I trust in their ability. Let's let them do it. So you don't want to be like a helicopter mom or a helicopter boss or a helicopter friend. Let people show that they have the capacity. Just remind them that the door is open. And then later, if they didn't take advantage of that accessibility, you can say, well, now I'm going to have to check in a little bit more because I really wanted to leave it up to you. But give them the chance. Let them and try to set them up for success if you're in a leadership position. If you're just tired, though, and people are asking for too much, say no. Be the boss on this one and just say, you're going to have to take that on today. I need to rest or I need to focus on this. All right, as we look at Thursday, it's time to let go of some things here. So we see the Four of Pentacles fiercely holding on to that center coin. Oftentimes, this is a limited, minimal sort of way of thinking. Sometimes it's even fear-based. If I let go of this, then I won't have anything or nothing else will come in its place. Usually that's not the case, and it's really good to say, this isn't enough. You can say that. Let's fix this. I think we need to focus more on this. Highlight it, come at it with some suggestions, and that's going to help you as well. In negotiations, don't be afraid to ask for more, especially if someone is coming forth with an offer that's like a low ball. It's way too, it's almost insultingly low. So what you would do then is just say, I think somehow our wires are mixed. Let's reset this. This is more what I'm thinking, and then throw it back in their court. And at the end of the day, this is also when we talk about reciprocity. Are you showing up, or is your partner showing up, or whoever's working with you, are they giving as much as you are? Because typically that's someone that's withholding or holding back a little bit. So we want to make sure that we can get people to come out of their shells, to really kind of exchange the energy more evenly. And I think that's the big opportunity there. Okay. As we take a look at Friday, another day of self-care, but creativity as well. So your dreams, I see people talking about the full moon. It wouldn't surprise me then the following day you would have some of these intense dreams here on Friday. But Page of Cups in reverse is a reminder that you probably need an outlet for joy, stress, thoughts, etc. And it's a reminder not to kind of like put all of that energy in one space. So, if you have a really close friend or family member, maybe make sure that you're talking to someone else too and not putting all of the weight on them. And vice versa, if someone else is putting a lot of energetic weight on you, you can push back a little bit and take care of yourself. This is a day to have some fun and be playful. Pages are very childlike. They're not just messengers. They're not just workers. They're also like kids here. And so it's about honoring that energy as well. What I do like about this is if we look closely on this, we can see someone mapping something out. We can see all of the power and the potential of the waves behind them representing just how far your passion can take you. So once you've done the self-care, you can tune into your intuition and your creativity should be running really high. So it can still be a productive day. You just have to figure out how to harness the emotions a bit. As we take a look at next Saturday, we have the Page of Swords, but it's reversed. So the Page of Swords in reverse is about editing, revising, speaking up, being very direct, not to the point of being sort of short or curt, but just sort of constructive and concise. Critical if you need to, but always that constructive element. It is a great day for putting that pen to the paper and getting things done. I love the illustration here too about connecting with highest good, highest potential, focusing also on assuming the best. Because the page does connect with communication, we've had 2 pages, both reversed, one that's going to be more emotional. So your emotions may get in the way of you communicating a bit on Friday, and then on Saturday, you may basically just have so much energy going through your head that there's no edit switch. So we need to connect the heart a little bit more on that day. So finding a way to balance things out will be good. But you can get a lot of revisionary work done. So if something needs to be fixed, this is the fix it day. Okay, and again, we're looking at Saturday. All right, focusing now on the energy of Sunday, next Sunday that is, we have a very, very productive card, the 8 of Pentacles. It's a good card for those of you that are creators. And by the way, it can be any type of creation. So creative work, but it can also be if you need to like write something, even technical, because this is very hands-on. It's a construction card. It's a learning card. And more sort of like traditionally, I would say 8 of Pentacles is about knowledge expansion. The 3 of Pentacles is mastery. The interesting thing here this week is that we see that this tug of war could also be something that is nearly done, and it kind of goes through another cycle of revisions, and then we see it wrapping up here on the weekend. So Monday sets into motion a little bit of change and revision, but by the time you get to 7 days from now, it feels like you're putting all the pieces together. So try not to let emotions get in the way. Don't be afraid to speak up. There are some things you're going to hold on to. There's some things others are going to hold on to, but you're both going to have to find a compromise. And that's kind of what we talked about. Highlights and lowlights. Highlights of the week. Monday, Tuesday, and next Sunday. Because we have just things going in the right direction with this. And you can get a lot of productivity done. Self-care days, Wednesday and Friday. Taking care of emotions and physical strength and just general health overall. Otherwise, the rest of the week is pretty manageable. So let's get into the elemental portion of today's forecast, and then I'll gift a membership before we get into the special topic for today. So let me just create some space here first. And the elements, by the way, this is going to allow us to get just a little bit of granular detail when it comes to fire, earth, air, and water. So let me choose a different deck for this, and then we will take a look at that. Okay. So today for a while here, my air conditioning is broken, so it's going to be a little warm, so apologies if I seem hot. I am actually right now. All right, so let's shuffle this and see what's going on here. Fire, earth, air, seriously, and water. They're all reversed. We're going to read them upright because I don't feel like looking at them all upside down, but I'll talk about how to make them upright as we go into these. So we have the Page of Wands, again, coming through in the reverse state. The reverse state on this could be like lifting up things and looking around. For some of you, you may have lost things. So specifically looking at Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius for the next 7 days. Look at things from a different perspective. Look at it from every possible angle. Allow yourself also to sit with something a little bit and open your mind, because the Page of Wands in reverse typically is a little closed-minded or closed off. And so we want to open it up, look deeper, and dig beneath the surface sort of idea. There might be something that is more profound, in left field, or just completely unexpected. And this card is encouraging you to explore that path as well. Let me see what else is coming through on this one. I do like the ability for you possibly to take something and amplify it. So it's not about, like, if you have a presentation or someone's looking for a big idea, you don't have to come up with a ton of ideas, just one really well-baked idea, or you have a chance right now to take something and it can just kind of like go really, really big, kind of like, like fireworks moments. So I think for you, focusing on that, really what you feel passionate about, that's really key. And let's see, you can stand your ground if you need to. Of course, the Page of Wands, and like we had the Strength card, when reversed, it is a very difficult person to argue against. So think your sort of argument all the way through, being able to empathize, being able to figure out what you want to release and not release, and then state your case. So I think that this is a good week for having difficult conversations or even presenting an argument, as long as you've thought it through, okay? Because this can be a kind of pushy card. So if you need or want to get something passed or approved or whatever, you have a good shot of it this week, okay? So that's pretty much everything with this. Stay open-minded. And listen. Pages do need to listen when they're reversed. So this is about listening to new ideas and listening to your intuition and not overthinking it, okay? But I'll take a page any day for, a weekly card. This is very, very good here. Ideas. Capture them in real time. So even if it's 2 or 3 in the morning and I have a dream and I feel like it's going to be important to talk about the next day, I wake up, I dictate it, or I will quickly tap a couple of words into my phone so that I'm able to remember. So make sure that you're doing things to jog your memory. Let's move on to earth signs, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. We have the 9 of Cups here. 9 of Cups in reverse has to do with regulating emotions, not going too high or too low. So if something really challenging is happening, breathe and think through, like, what is the lesson here? What is the opportunity? Celebrate life's little victories. Have fun with people around you. Make sure that you're having fun in general. Because all work and no play does create this sort of sense of why am I doing this? So finding balance and not going to extremes. This is generally a very happy card. So I think that you can find that happy medium this week. It's just about not letting the, really, really great news set you up for, disappointment when something else in the midweek doesn't go as planned, or something really disappointing kind of takes you out from focusing on something beautiful that's just within reach. Everything in moderation. This also includes something new that you start, whether it's, exercise, diet, or even just going to a party and having a lot to eat or drink. Moderation is key, and that's for my earth sign. So stay grounded. It should be easy for you, but the heart is coming through for sure. So hopefully that helps. Let's take a look at air, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. We have the 2 of Pentacles, and it's in reverse. You're being asked, and it's hard, I know, I understand. You're being asked to make a single decision between a couple of choices that may have just shades of difference. They're not that different. So when you decide this, not that, not only are you going to be more able to put the energy behind something, but you're going to be clearer in your thinking process. And when we looked at that fatigue card that was coming around the middle of the week, you're less likely to get tired, sick, or just stretched too thin. And that's what we usually see with the 2 of Pentacles here. Let's see. The other thing here is you're able to go further than you think. So the 2 of Pentacles can represent limited resources. So you can basically take that dime and make it, go a long, long way. So try to think of the potential and try to remember it just takes like one breakthrough for things to really go in the right direction. So I see that there's going to be something that makes it a little bit easier, but part of that is going to involve saying no to one thing just to open up your energy. Let's move on to water, Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. By the way, one last note for air. This is also a work-life balance sort of energy, okay? Now, moving on to water. We have the Page of Cups coming again, reversed. So this is saying it's okay to feel how you feel. It's okay to not be happy. Something that gets lost sometimes in spiritual conversations is the importance of sorrow, grief, and even anger, any emotion, any lower emotion. It's still an emotion, and it's still in the spectrum of energy. So when we are sad, it allows us to release. Tears help us release. when we're angry and we lose, we lose it and we kind of even raise our voice or something, the energy is going through you. So if you have to feel something, feel it. If there's a constructive way to do it, that's really where the opportunity is. So you can find something like, artistic endeavor, friendship, love. You can lean on someone. It's basically about putting yourself out there. What I saw in the Sagittarius reading this week was when you authentically connected with the crowd, someone came up and just embraced you and said, I love you. I feel like this is true for all of us. And this is about putting yourself out there, because we got it collectively and now we have it specifically for Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. Sometimes we try to hide things and put on a good face, just pretend everything's okay. So it's sometimes better to just be honest if you're not having the best day or if things aren't going great, so that people can love and support you. And then just accept the hug, accept the support, and things will be all right. Creative energy and intuitive energy are running really high this week. So when it comes to any sort of creative endeavors, you're in a good space. Your intuition is good. Relationships are kind of taking center stage here. So for some of you, you need to heal or sort out what's going on in the relationships first before everything else can get into the space that you want it to be. Okay? All right, folks. Thank you for that. At this portion, I'm going to gift a membership. So let me quickly log on to I have to kind of do it from a different window here, and then I can give you guys a membership. Okay. So hopefully you've enabled that, because I've seen a few gifted memberships. So here we go. The last round that I can do this month until next month. This is just a thank you for all of you that showed up today. I appreciate you guys. You rock. Thank you. I can do that twice per month. All right. And I don't get to control who gets it. It's basically the algorithm kind of decides there. All right, let me reset everything. We're going to get into our special topic today. By popular demand, it's going to be Pluto in Aquarius. So we're looking for lessons and basically opportunities to start a new cycle and change things up a bit. So let's see what's going on here, folks. Let me pick a deck here that I'm called to. Welcome, everybody. By the way, if you like what you see here, do me a favor. Like and subscribe. It's free. It helps a lot, and I appreciate it. Thank you. And also, if you'd like to follow me on social media, all of my handles are there. All right, I'm going to turn the camera down and select a deck, and we shall begin. Okay, let's see what's coming through. With Pluto in Aquarius, where are the opportunities to grow? What do we need to let go of? What are the twists and turns? Interesting. Okay, folks, let's begin. We're going to start off with a very appropriate card here as we're looking at your catalyst. We have this rotation card, a cool little spider coming down from the ceiling. I know not all of you love spiders, but it is important. And it is a pretty cool energy because in many decks, you'll see the spider connected with the Wheel of Fortune or the Ten of Pentacles. because it spins its fortune. I used a phrase in an old turn of phrase, which is like spinning gold from straw, or spinning straw into gold. That was also what I was talking about for the Two of Pentacles energy. You can take a little and make it a lot. And so I like the spinning energy that's coming through with this and the rotation. So if you're not seeing what you need in a relationship, in a living environment, at a job, it's time for a pivot. It's time to rotate. It's time to try something else. Every single day, these lovely little creatures have to go out and fix their webs because they caught something there, because there's a leaf in this, because the rain, brought it down or whatever. So they're very diligent in setting the stage every day. And so as a catalyst and as a Pluto sort of energy, it's saying each and every day, don't be afraid to pivot a little bit. And I talked about how very long it takes for that dwarf planet to rotate the sun and how irregular, erratic, and elongated the orbit is. So your path is your own, folks. And you can do a little bit of a course correction every day to get into the direction that you want. And slowly but surely, you'll get exactly where you need to be. It may not be in the speed or the timing that you want, but it will be in the cosmic timing that's right. It's not going to take 2 centuries either. Just give it a little bit of time to breathe, basically. This is also about making sure that you show up every day and set the intentions, because that web also represents setting intentions. And when you meet any sort of challenge, a personal mantra that I'll use for myself is the universe has my back, or God and the universe has my back. I'll find a way through this. I'll figure this out. And that is an empowering statement, even when you're faced with something that really is not optimal. And that's what you got to lean into this week, is that your own ability to kind of trust your instincts, and also that the universe is not conspiring against you. It's the reverse. It's conspiring for you. And so all you have to do is kind of tune in and figure out, what am I missing, or what do I need to focus on? And that will help you out. All right, so let's get everything within the view here, and let's take it card by card, just to kind of get an overarching pulse on what this is all about. Let's see what we've got. I like that we have big cards of like power and empowerment here in the near future and future. So this whole shift, this whole astrological shift right now, is to help you be more self-sufficient, and also to bring more abundance in your life, particularly for those of you that are feeling like you need more when it comes to money, you need more when it comes to recognition, or you want to build something but you feel like it's lacking. These 2 cards show that you're going to be able to do this, but we just have to work through some of the lessons here. We do have the Wheel of Fortune coming through for you. See how you can even sort of see why they would choose the Wheel of Fortune for this, because a web and a wheel are pretty close, the spokes in both. So it's coming through, folks, but you got to spin each and every part of that, and we'll talk about it. Let's get into the center. We can already see the big challenge this week is integrity and trust and honesty and transparency. It could be with you and others, or others showing up for you. Let's start off with this card, because this will help us. Queen of Cups, emotions. We've got a theme going on this week. So for many of you, it's just saying, I'm going to be honest with the way that I feel, starting with yourself. So any sort of announcement or coming out has to happen within first. Like, let's say you're going to quit. So if you're going to quit a job, you have to think to yourself, I'm through, I'm done with this. Once you've made that decision, you can decide how and when, and then you can choose the words, and it happens. If you're going to declare love, you first have to feel love for yourself, because if you're looking for that replacement, that's not going to work. But once you feel it and feel like, well, I love myself, I love this person, I love this relationship, let's see what we can do with this. You have to kind of have these sort of epiphanies and coming outs to yourself and get honest with yourself. Okay, this is real. And once you're real about it, then you can come out. And otherwise, you're just deceiving yourself. So this is saying be honest with yourself and don't ignore your emotions. If beneath the surface, here's a better way to phrase this. Let's say someone wants to hire you and you're like, I hate this company. Don't take the job. Or if you are trying to get into a relationship, but the person gives off like tons and tons of red flags, listen to that. Listen to your intuition. Trust your emotions. emotions are a sort of primary and primal way to protect yourself. So if something doesn't feel right in the gut, in the heart, or just you're like, I don't know, trust it, because you're picking up on this, and it will save you a lot of time. So this is basically just the universe coming through saying, we're making it feel a little weird so you don't commit to that. So this is why it's good to say, I don't want to do this. Little kids don't have a hard time. I don't want to, they'll have a little tantrum or something. As adults, we've learned to do things that we don't like to do. Sometimes that serves us. Usually it doesn't. So make sure that you can say no to something that is not acceptable. Sort out the contracts. Make sure that you really understand what you're signing up for. This is also important for things like insurance. Look at all of the exclusions. Do you have the coverage that you think you have? Or is someone just sort of selling you, a pretty bill of rights that don't really kind of protect you? So get to know all of the contractual details of something that's important. Don't skip through that. And then how can we overcome this? By being honest, by being transparent, and by being a person that acts with integrity and expecting the same of others. It's a lot easier to say, this doesn't work, and you show up every day basically with the integrity. But if you're lacking it, it's hard for other people to get behind that. So really work on believing in yourself, on being honest, keeping your commitments, and knowing what you're, and if you say you're going to do it. But if you're signing on that dotted line, really make sure that you understand that as well. All of these things can help you overcome the Seven of Swords, okay? It's crossing things, which means it's just in the air. It can blow away. It's not the center card. This, though, is working in concert with this. By pushing emotions beneath the surface and ignoring them, you empower the Seven of Swords, and that's why it's showing up, okay? Deep past. So you have a chance to really, I saw the cocoon of love coming through. Here's your cocoon of love in the Four of Wands. So are you ready to receive it, though? Again, I'm pulling in a little bit of what I was talking about with Sagittarius because it was so close. I never do a reading on Saturday, but I've been having some issues here in this apartment, so I had to shift it around. So when I did that, I was like, some of this is going to be valid for tomorrow, the love stuff especially. And so there are people that want to show up for you. Maybe they want to help you move, help you grow at work, mentor you. Maybe they love you and they want to be your friend or be your partner, but there's hesitation. So Pluto is coming through right now saying, remember, it's death. Let's put an end to the hesitation. Let's put an end to you feeling like you don't deserve something good. And let's also put an end to saying, I always have bad luck with fill in the blank. What you're going to say instead is, historically, this has been an issue, but I'm done with it. So think about what you're done with this week and say it to Pluto. I'm done with this. You can take it from me. I don't need this lesson anymore. I am ready for love, abundance, support, opportunity, and this long-term friendship that we see here. This is a card of monogamy, marriage, partnership, and it's your ride or die kind of partnership. And that is a good thing. Who doesn't want that right now? So really open yourself up to get the support that you deserve, okay? And some of that, if we go even deeper, the reason that we got the Queen of Cups at the center is it's based in how you feel about yourself, which also comes back from like childhood, right? When I think back to the vision that I had 2 nights ago, it was a little kid hugging someone on stage. It could have been the younger version of that person. Just as we're talking about it now, that makes sense. The inner child came up and said, I love you. And the adult version of that inner child, like, just couldn't say it back. I think they said, I'm trying to remember what it was in the dream. It wasn't thank you. It was likewise. No, we're not doing that. This isn't Patrick Swayze and Ghost. This is, I love you too if you feel it. And you have to love yourself, and you have to be open to expressing your love with others. I'm only a tarot reader, and I can't help you with that if you're struggling, but that is something that you can work on with a therapist, with friends, with family. It's doing the deep healing on self-love that has been prevalent for the past 48 hours as a medium that I've been picking up on, okay? And yes, dishonesty in the past can make you afraid that everyone's like that, but it's just one person out of many. So this does not have, the cycle ends. So again, anything that you've been feeling cyclically, and it can be, again, it could be challenges at work, challenges with your landlord or your living situation or your money or your self-love or respect and all of that. We are not trying to fix it all. We're just saying, I'm done with it. Today is the day that we start the sort of revolution around the sun. It's the long game. We're going to make all the necessary changes. We're going to set into motion something that will stick. And this time it's going to be better. That's what we're getting here for the special topic. Easy does it. This is going to be the key to success as you step through the week. One step at a time. You can't fix it overnight. It takes a while for something to happen. It takes a while for it to heal. That was one of the best pieces of advice I had from a really close friend here in LA. I was going through a really challenging situation. It was like a work relationship and stress and life and all this other stuff. And she said, you know what? It's taken you 6 years to get to get into this. It's going to take you a couple of years to get out of this. She said, I know you don't want to hear it, but it's going to get better every day. Just don't expect it to happen overnight. And I actually really appreciated the honest advice. Give yourself time to heal and give yourself time to kind of like just do the reconstruction and the sort of, the demolition of the tower leads to the clarity of the star, but there's some building and construction between the two. So it's going to take time, one step at a time. Get 1 foot on the water, test the temperature of this, or 1 foot on the land, 1 foot in the water. Get a temperature check, make sure you like where you're going. By the way, this is also about emotional healing, temperance. That's why she has the 2 cups. The temperance angel is preparing you for love. So love is actually ready to come through, and I'm using love with a capital L. So this could be best friend, unconditional love from, a family member, or it could be partnership. Everything's starting to align, but it has to also kind of align within. And this is where it's going to take a moment for you to trust before that really happens. Okay? The Hermit also contains the star, but chooses when, if, and how to emanate the light. It's time to come out of your shell. The Hermit is in reverse. You've done a lot of work. Maybe there's still a little bit of healing to do, but it is time to step onto the stage, into the limelight, to allow yourself to move forward. In this particular deck, the Hermit has been still so long that there's mushrooms growing around their feet. So we don't want that to happen. That's stagnation. That is why this card is reversed. Fun little detail if you look real close. By the way, this is also calling you to look at things like anything that's just stagnating in your health, in your finances, in your life, in your house. Time to clean, get in the closets. You never know what you might find. Let's get things moving. Let's get the energy moving. Yes, it can represent mold and things like that too. So definitely give things a good spring cleaning. But this to me is also saying something's been still for too long. And this is a chance to make the necessary rotation or movement. By the way, this is like rotating your tires on a car too. So preventative maintenance is really important. If there's anything in your life where you've just been ignoring it, this is about shining a light on it. Okay? All right. Now, as we look at what this is all aiming you towards, this is the first future-based card that we have. Power. It's good. We we need, it's just like everything, all these lights, the computer, the internet, it all needs power. You need power too. So what are you doing, not just to kind of like make peace with it? I'm wearing the right color for this because solar plexus. But it's also like, what are you doing to create that surge of inspiration that constitutes power? Your imagination, your passion, your joy, all of those other things. It's not just about money. It's not just about accomplishments. It's also about the things that happen when you're not at work, when you're not, kind of like bossing people around or whatever. I'm looking at this on a much bigger level. It's about you feeling empowered, you plugging in, and you believing that you are worthy of commanding attention, because this is the introvert and this is the extrovert. What I like particularly about this emperor, as opposed to other illustrations, is he's keeping an eye on things. He's not sort of just sitting and letting mushrooms grow. He's keeping an eye on what matters. He's connecting with the Two of Wands and High Priestess energy, which have the crystal ball or globe. And he's also standing up for what matters. This is not a seated emperor. So it's your chance to stand up for what you care about, to move, to get out there and be a part of the action. And we saw the teamwork cards, right? The formation in the Eight of Wands, the tug of war, and the Three of Pentacles. And this is a chance for you to say, all right, I'm going to be a part of that. I'm not just going to lead from afar. You are worthy. You are worth it. You deserve this. That's what the Wheel of Fortune is saying, folks. And I'm saying what other people don't say to you, perhaps. Accept it. If it's a thank you, and I love you, a raise, some money, an opportunity, it's because you're emanating the value of the Wheel of Fortune. We have like a wheel from a ship here, so nautical theme here, and we're back to the sort of like rotation. You can go wherever you want next. You just have to feel the worth. You have to feel the connection to it. And that's the key thing. We have power and vision playing a really important role in this. And we have all the zodiac signs on this particular Wheel of Fortune. There's another illustration for this. I'm going to try to find it in a different deck here. It's in my Robin Wood deck here. And it goes through all the emotional states, and I want to bring it up right now. It just kind of came to me as something to focus on. So while I'm doing that, we're looking at you, and this whole special topic is like, what is the change that needs to happen? For some of you, it might be a change in career. The self-worth piece, which we talked about earlier, could also be coming into play. This could also be an opportunity for you to just get a handle on money and change your relationship with your finances. So if you've been feeling like you're worth more but not receiving it, now you're only going to connect with things that really vibrate within the frequency of what you're worth. Okay, this is one of the coolest Wheel of Fortune cards. This is in the Robin Wood deck. So very similar. We can see all the different signs here, but in this one, we can see all of the different emotions that we go through to get to that top card, which also has the star. You have to go through struggle, sadness, disappointment, sometimes all of these things to not to deserve it, but to appreciate it. Context. So if you're somewhere else in the wheel, if you're here, if you're in the questioning phase, if you're just kind of thinking maybe we're getting there, it's okay. You're exactly where you need to be. Just keep moving. The wheel keeps moving. You're not stuck. So that's why no more mushrooms under the feet. Move in the right direction. Just move. Just keep moving. And that's what we also saw with that formational card as well. Okay? This is about getting a bird's eye view. This is connecting you to the Emperor. The snake is power. It's also the Seven of Swords, because the snake, you can connect with devil energy because it's sneaky. So we want to be careful about who we trust, who we align to, especially who we trust our money and business affairs with. Okay? So many emotional cards reversed, and especially in this one, we have Four of Wands, this is the Knight in this deck. So Four of Wands, Knight of Cups, and then the Two of Cups, all reversed. The big opportunity right now is healing, emotional healing, psychological healing. I mean, they're kind of connected, aren't they? And then maybe even just some physical healing so that your heart can really shine, so that this Wheel of Fortune, we can get you into this zone right up here, okay? You can change your heart, your mind. This is a change of heart. That's how I'm reading this. Something that once resonated no longer does. We live, hopefully, knock on marble here, but knock on wood, long lives. So you get to change your mind often. I think it's silly that we ask kids what they want to do when they grow up and hold them to it. Like, especially once they go to college. Once you get into college, you may get, after first semester, first year, or even 2 years in, think, I don't like this. I did that in undergraduate. I finished it, but it wasn't, I realized, no, I need to do something else, which is why I got another degree, because I was like, this isn't enough, and it's not what I want to do. So we should have more flexibility. Just like you can change your major, you should be able to change your mind or your career or whatever it is. So your change of heart is valid. I'm just going to validate it. And then what I said before, you're a worthy person. So trust in your emotions, trust in yourself, and don't get wrangled into that, because we can see the octopus or whatever, the sea monster coming through and trying to pull you in. So this can also, because this is in your environment, folks, this can be someone who is highly emotional or erratic, and they're trying to rope you in. Ooh, that's like what we just talked about, rope you in. I hadn't even thought about that except for the turn of phrase there. So that Three of Pentacles, don't let someone rope you into a contract or an agreement or a situation that doesn't feel right. So go on your practicality here, not their emotional sort of presentation or plea. Really important piece there. It's in the environment. It's something you can avoid. Okay. We do like octopuses and or octopi and squid. Octopus is very smart from what I can remember. So trust in your trust in your emotional IQ, I guess it is. You can sense through some of this. It's not just persuasion, it could be manipulation. So we want to steer clear of that. So this is a lack of honesty. This is someone using emotional tendrils to kind of like manipulate or pull you in. All right, now we have the Two of Cups. This is in hopes, fears, and opportunities. So we're going to read it in its highest level, in the hopes and the opportunities. Love, partnership. It's the second time you got it. And these are two of the most favorable cards for love and partnership. All we're missing is the Lovers, or maybe the Ace of Pentacles or the Ace of Cups. But these two alone, I would say, in this moment in time, you have changed a karmic cycle with respect to relationships. The only missing piece or the key to really kind of keeping this cycle going in the right direction is believing in your worth, saying no to these tendrils that are kind of reaching out, and then just allowing yourself to move forward. I believe that the Taj Mahal is a mausoleum, right? So this is really appropriately illustrated for Pluto, because it is about the death of one thing and the beginning of something new, and honoring what was. All of our mistakes, you can look back in your life and just say, thank you. I'm not going to make that one again. That was a big one. That was a big lesson. I'm not going to do this again. And you learn from it. That's all you can do. Otherwise, you're going to beat yourself up. What's it worth? It doesn't really accomplish anything. It just makes you feel bad. So learn and don't repeat. But if you're willing to do that, by the way, there's something better on the horizon waiting. And this is saying, don't be afraid to say yes to something that really, really is what you've been working so hard to create. So this can be the inner saboteur coming through. And some of you might just be afraid of, can I do it? Can I do a partnership? I didn't have great examples. Yes, you can. Give yourself more credit and continue to do the work. That's all that the spider kind of came through to remind us. So the big opportunity in this just general spread before we even expand it is the abundance and the prosperity, and also the speed with which all of this can happen here with the Queen of Pentacles. So we again have a snake. Snake is power. It's also about making sure that you're not losing sight of what matters. We have the Rabbit, which is abundance, fertility, and things will pick up. It may be a slow start, but then things will pick up. The Queen of Pentacles, here's what I like about her. She is a great card, of course, for finances and for developing and for birthing and for announcing. She's a very good entrepreneurial card. She makes a great boss. And she is second only to the Empress when we're looking at maternal energy. So this is the mother. If we look at the four queens, she typically is associated with domestic bliss and motherhood and the house and the home. So all of those things are coming through. I mean, they're very favorable. And it's just growth in those areas, because you can see all of the beautiful plants around her. Typically, the King and the Queen of Pentacles, there's vines, there's growth, there's flowers, there's grapes. It's basically saying this is your moment to drink that in, okay? And I think I covered the high points on this one. It is saying this is a moment for you to really focus on getting a handle on financial affairs and taking a more active role when it comes to general resources and stating your needs or expectations in life as well. Now let's expand this and go a little deeper into health, wealth, love, and destiny. Because we're looking at Pluto here, we're also looking at possibly where the dead end is, or where the death or the release is, and where the growth or the opportunity is. Okay, we're going to start off with your health card. I had to feel to make sure there wasn't two there. So let me just get to the right thing here. So for health, this is your mind, body, and spirit. It says, how much good can you handle? Explore the upward spiral of grace. I like that. The card is reversed, very much like the Nine of Cups. Nine of Cups is euphoria, but in reverse, it's either like too high, too low, or distrust. So there's something going on where you're wondering, can I handle this? Am I deserving of? Will this happen to me or for me? Release that thought and just think, if it's time, it's time. There's like a work project that I'm working on longer term, and I just kind of done everything that I could with another person that I'm partnering up on, and we had a chat the other day, and I said, let's just change focus. I think if this is going to work, it's going to work, but we can't push anymore. And then we talked about new ideas and new projects and other things. And then like an hour after hanging up the phone with them, the thing that we put on the back burner came to life. Like we got someone that was open to moving it forward. I'm like, okay, all we had to do was release it. There comes a point where releasing the thought will help. So release this idea that you can't get it, or that you won't handle it, or that it's not coming. Just say, when it comes, it'll come. I've got other things to focus on. Shift your focus. This thought doesn't serve you. Just say, I'm ready. That's really all you need to do. I'm ready, and I'm ready now. But I've got a lot of other things, universe, so don't keep me waiting. Kind of be playful with the universe that way. That's where I found the most success, because when you desire it too much, or when you fixate on it too much, then you push it away. And I don't like that this is a question. I mean, I like that it's a playful question. It should just be this: are you ready for great things? Good. Like, embrace it. Okay. Let's look at health stuff. Get moving. That's the first one. To the best of your ability, right? We all have different bodies. We have different needs and abilities, but this card showed a lot of stagnation. And clean those closets, clean under the bed, clean the sheets, clean your car, change the filters and things, clean. We don't want to see fungus in a reading. So clean and get moving for sure. What else is going on here? I think that for many of you, this is a very developmental month, but we want to make sure that there is more than just work or school or lessons. So taking time to breathe is temperance. Making more time for relationships as well. If there's a change that needs to happen, the commitment that you make, like I'm going to start this, or I'm going to give up this, or whatever, only do it when you're truly ready, because we can see the fingers crossed in this one that is basically a promise that's not necessarily going to be kept. So wait until you're ready and then really commit. And there may be someone in your life, even though I'm not looking at relationships yet, but it's going to affect you. Could be a parent, because the Emperor typically is. We actually have like father-mother energy here, but there could be someone here who just isn't aware of what's going on in their own health or their own life. And now I can see the effects of the people around them. You can't always fix or change a parent's path. I haven't talked about my dad in a long, long time, but he struggled with, he was a cigarette smoker, and he had a lot of things that went wrong. He's been gone for a long time, but he had asthma, emphysema, bronchitis, COPD basically, cancer. What else did he have? Heart failure. Everything that you get on the back of the cigarette package. When I was a little kid, 8 or 10, I wrote on all of his cigarettes, "Please stop, Daddy." And then I also wrote it on the cigarettes, and I shared the stuff that I got from school, and I couldn't stop him because he loved them. And he ultimately loved the cigarettes more than he loved himself, and I couldn't stop that addiction for him. So it was what it was. And I don't feel any guilt, and I really don't feel sorrow at this point, except I wish that it was a painful end. So, but I couldn't stop it. And so I'm just giving those of you out there that are, there's different types of addictions and self-destructive behaviors. If you know someone in your life that's on that path, all you can do is try to show them the light and the way. But he was my dad. At a certain point, what am I going to do? So that was that. And even in spirit, sometimes I'll still smell cigarettes around him. It's like in his spiritual energy. And that's something karmically that's there. But you can't change people's readiness for that. He was always somewhere in that Seven of Swords. I'll stop tomorrow, or one more cigarette won't hurt me, or whatever. So yeah, it's hard. And I'm sure we all know somebody that has some sort of an addiction or an addictive tendency. It can be overworking energy too. So he did a little bit of both. He was a very hard worker when I was young, and then he was a smoker as well, just like habits. So, but there's no judgment. It was more observation. And I love my father, and I forgive my father, and I hope he's happy in spirit. I know he is. But when it comes to this, I was not capable of saving him, and that's not my fault. It took me a while to realize that. So if anybody out there is watching someone that has self-destructive behavior, it's not your fault, and it's not your job. At some point, you can get the support systems in place, but you can't fix it until they're ready to fix it. Okay? Some of you need to hear it, not everybody, but it's good to know in general, because we all see people and you want to kind of go in there and nurture them and fix them, but that is some of their karma too. Yep, octopus. That's what just because of the parental energy, I thought I would share a little bit about my dad. He was a lovely individual, very, very nice guy, but that was his one sort of thing that he had to deal with. Okay. Other things. Do your research before making any major leap or decision. Moderation, because we have temperance. One interesting thing, I never smoked a cigarette, regular or pot or anything. I don't want that, because I saw that and I actually don't like the smell of it. So you can actually use that as your own guide. If you see something that you don't like, you don't have to. I ended the karmic behavior there. I was like, I don't want that. So just make it your path. You can make a decision. I'm going to be different. So just like if you didn't have good examples of love or good examples of health, Pluto's coming through saying, this is you. You got a different template. That was just one narrative and it's played out, right? Pregnancy could be around the corner for those of you that are trying to get pregnant, even if you're not. That's what I see. This is a card of birthing and childhood. So be mindful of that if you are looking to get pregnant. The Knight of Cups could also be the energy coming through. So a water sign perhaps, or just a really kind soul. Anything else here? I think that's it. I think we talked this one through. Things are getting better. You just have to be ready to receive, because all of the receptacles, all the cups are reversed. So you have to think, I am ready. Temperance is helping you get there, but there's a little bit of emotional stuff to do first. Okay, let's move on. Let's get into wealth, because wealth is a pretty good energy this month. We have the dragonfly spirit. Truth transcends illusion. Alrighty. Dragonflies are just like a butterfly or a moth. They go through a metamorphosis stage. They start in the water, and then they end up flying around afterwards. So this is a chance for you to move through the different levels of development. And truth transcends illusion. Okay, so for some of you, it's kind of like when we're little kids and we believe in things that are told to us. Sometimes, about certain things that happen in holidays that really don't exist. We kind of lose that naivete. So for some of you, you're kind of taking off the lens of being easy to fool, and that's a good thing. So this is a time for you to be inquisitive, curious. Curiosity is good. It's a time to read and do your own research and to get to the truth. Tell it like it is. Learn the truth. And dragonflies have the ability also, their flight patterns are amazing. So talking about like rotation of path and changing your flight plan. When it comes to career, once you got to the truth of the matter, the dragonfly can kind of pivot in any direction. So I like that. Okay. Let's look at work. Let's look at money. Let's look at resources. Let's look at it overall, then we'll go deeper to those that might be working or not working. The main thing right now is you're not getting the full story on some things. Back when I used to have multiple corporate jobs, this is so prevalent in every corporation. There were closed door meetings. There were things that were kind of rolled out but not completely explained. Like, This is very a corporate card. So you have to trust your instincts because you're not always getting the full picture for those of you in big jobs. The most important thing, if we take away this, is how do you feel? Because I do get an underlying theme here of dissatisfaction or frustration, something lower frequency coming through, even though we have a really lovely Wheel of Fortune card showing up for you. There are definitely some cards here where the satisfaction, the fulfillment is lacking. Be honest with yourself about that. And push others to be honest when it comes to promises. So this can be a boss and your conversation with them, or anybody. It can be you trying to set things into motion. It's just about making sure you get that in writing. I do see a path towards abundance because we have 3 cards that are all about abundance. So you're on the right path. There might be some work to do first. Let's break it down to get more specific. I'm going to start with those that are in a job. I already highlighted that a bit. Then we'll move on to the other categories. If you're in a job, really be mindful of not, especially if you have seasonal or contractual work, make sure that you understand how far this contract goes, like when they could let you go, how much you're promising to do, if you own the intellectual property, et cetera, et cetera. There's something contractually that I don't love. So get to the bottom of that. I think you might be able to get more money, and that could be part of that too, because we have 2 very high value cards. I mean, can't get more than the Wheel of Fortune or the Queen of Pentacles for the most part, only the King, but you're worth it. So you're worth more maybe than you're receiving. And we had like what, 4 of Pentacles for some people, or one of the days of the week. So we want to make sure that that's not being sort of pushed out when it doesn't need to be. There is a chance for a raise or promotion, by the way. Wheel of Fortune, Emperor, Queen of Pentacles. You've been making some good alliances, some of you. Again, it just boils down to satisfaction. I see success, but success and satisfaction don't have to always go hand in hand. They're not mutually inclusive. So make sure that you're feeling happy about what you're doing. I think there's a chance for you to speak up more or be seen more. And I did see really great support in my psychic visions and mediumship when that happens. And if good stuff comes to you, say thank you. Thank you, I worked hard for this. I appreciate it. Relationships will get you further at work, so keep making the network, good networking choices. I see some morale issues for some of you too, so that's something to sort out. Okay, it's good. It's overall good. It's mostly an emotional question. That's something only you can address. If you don't like what you're doing, it could be more of like, well, do I need other things in my life? Do I need a career change? Do I need to talk to my boss? There's something emotional coming up, but there's no significant blocks other than the contract piece. Definitely look at money and contracts. But other than that, I'm not so worried about stuff. If there is a non-disclosure or if you shouldn't be gossiping, don't gossip. This is going to get around. The 7 of Swords, the 5 of Swords, the 3 of Cups, they all work to gossip, and we don't need that. Moving now to those that are job seeking. Do you really want to do what you say you want to do? Because I'm going to play the role of getting real with you because this card was in the center. Only go down the path if you want it. If not, pivot. This is the time to pivot. If you're seeking work, why not change it up now? Some of you want to be your own boss. Go for it. It feels like there's many of you that want to be the boss or need more autonomy, power, or say. So honor that desire if that's something that resonates with you. You can change. This starts off like a little tiny, I don't know the name of it in the soil, but it starts in the soil and the water, and then it eventually becomes this beautiful dragonfly. So you can go through multiple stages in your career. Goodness knows I have too. And you have to keep changing it up or it gets boring. So some of you just might be getting long in the tooth in what you were doing. And for those that are seeking, it's a chance to try something else. It feels like the environment matters a lot. Are you making an impact with your community, with the people around you? Do you like the morale? Is it fun? Is it playful? Is it engaging? Is it creative? These are the things I'd be looking for. Can you find work? Yes. Age or experience is playing a big role. You might have to make a case that whether you're older than expected or younger than expected or less or more experienced than expected, that isn't the important piece. And actually, you might not even have to have that conversation if you just make a connection on a heart level with people. A lot of times they just trust their gut. They're like, I know it's not everything we were looking for, but I just got a good vibe with this person. That is a big part of hiring because I used to hire in one of my roles. There was a gut instinct thing where we would all kind of, because usually you go through multiple interviews. So I would say, did you get that feeling? And someone else would say, yes, I did. And so we would trust the gut just as much. So there you go. But definitely if you want to do self-employment, these are great cards for that. For those that are retired or students, if you're retired, what we actually see is a big emphasis on family, friends, and networking. I feel like you can do things now because you want to, not necessarily this being the driving factor. If you do want to do work, though, these are very hireable cards. So there's a chance for you to give advice, to mentor, to even be a consultant. Just make sure you're not getting into more than you bargained for there. Students, same thing. We're just talking about paths. Pluto's coming through and saying, do you like your path? If you don't like your path, change your direction. And you can take your time in changing the direction. You don't have to give notice today, tomorrow, next week. Like I said, I took a year or two before I decided to do what I was feeling because I needed resources and things like that. So you can take the Pluto approach and do it over time. Just set it in motion. And that's everything, folks. All right, let's move on to the next one. We're going to look at love with a capital L here. We have higher heart activation on this card. Let's just pull it upright. It did come through reversed. Dropping shields, divine love, your heart is healed. Cocoon of love. Remember I talked about that at the beginning? Let's bring that card up again. If I can find it. Here we go. Or cocoon yourself with love is how I kind of phrased it. So this is about really allowing for that love to come through. And that's why you can draw. It's replacing the shield with love. Think to yourself, I am lovable. I am worthy. I exude love. I am attracting love. Love in the highest forms, unconditional love, higher love. And that's kind of what the universe is trying to help you accomplish or achieve. You may be working towards that third phrase there, your heart is healed, but that's the point. Because love, love, love. It's here. Deep past, environment, opportunities. So the universe is already showing up with this, but there's a little bit of resistance to it because I believe it was reversed here. So once you're able to do that, the path is in front of you. It's kind of like a Stargate on this particular card. Let's break it down. Let's look at those in a relationship first, those looking for love, those that are happily single. If you're in a relationship, there's some movement going on right now. One of you wants to stand still, but one of you needs to move in a different direction. It may be hard to bring up this kind of conversation, but if there's love and support, it's going to be okay. You know, what is lacking, and it feels like it's been lacking a lot in a lot of spreads for the past couple months. What's up with swords? Where are the swords? Not this sword, not this Seven of Swords. I want to see the Page of Swords, the King of Swords, the Queen of Swords, something like that. So clearer communication. That's the really big thing. Don't keep secrets. Got to get it out in the open. You have to talk about what's important. We need the wake-up call that I also talked about earlier. What I like about the spread is in the deep past, we have the Four of Wands, which is, again, a very strong foundational energy. There is some sort of disbelief for some of you that you're worried. You're like, when is the other shoe going to fall? When is something going to go wrong? So don't worry. These are not worrisome cards. Like, just if they were all upright, Four of Wands, the Knight of Cups, and the Two of Cups are all about love and good love and things going in the right direction. This is hesitation or disbelief. This is self-care that's needed. And this is making sure that it's reciprocated and making sure that you both feel the same sort of level of connection and contentment. So just talk about these things because all the seeds are there. And I do see two strong partners here. However, this one may tend to not articulate as much. And this one may put way too much effort in taking care. So we just need to see balance there. That's the main thing here. Just a little bit more communication, a little bit more honesty, a little bit more balancing of the energy of the responsibilities. And maybe a little less focus on like career or accomplishment or work and more on the relationship. Now, all of that being said, there are other factors. Let's imagine your relationship's really solid. This can have to do with something that, like I was saying, you're noticing something in the partner or maybe in their family that you can't control. There are some things out of your control. There can be someone in your environment, a friend or family member, that has those tentacles that are reaching in. And you could just be missing the sort of connection you had in the past, and this is nostalgic. Because as relationships age, sometimes the initial spark that was there, it gets kind of like muted and you're spending your time and energy on other things, and there's sort of like a habitual sort of schedule energy that comes through. This is about breaking the schedule, breaking that sort of the mushrooms that we see here under the feet of the hermit. We got to change things up a little bit. But it's not other than this, which can be dishonesty or not saying something, it's a pretty manageable spread for existing relationships. If you're looking for love, the type of person that could be coming through is really mature. It doesn't have to necessarily be just age. This could just be an old soul and a young body. But we definitely have someone here who has a level of maturity maybe that you haven't seen before. And they're looking for someone that's ready to commit. Because this is, like I said, one of the ultimate cards for domestic bliss. So that's good, folks. If you're looking for love, yeah. Here's the thing. Don't fake it. If you don't have the spark, don't do it. It shouldn't be like 5, 7, 10 dates in. If you're not feeling it after 2 or 3 dates, that's not it. Usually, because I'm intuitive, I know in the first few minutes if there's a connection energetically. Whether how you feel, how deep the connection goes, yeah, it takes a few dates, but you can tell immediately if there's a physical attraction, if there is an intellectual connection, if there's a chemical connection, whatever. Trust in that and don't fake it, because this is about being realistic. This is hesitation. It's there or it isn't. You shouldn't have to convince yourself. We have a lot of water here. So there could be a water sign. We have earth here too. So water and earth coming through as potential partners. I like the earth sign here because it's the upright one. So to me, this is someone that might also have a child, because I've been talking a lot about the pregnancy here and I saw a child attached perhaps. So that might be a consideration. This is an encouragement to come out of your shell, to do more things public. It feels like when you get into the spotlight, people take note. And things just start to roll along here. It feels like there's change and movement. So if you've been single for a while and you're truly ready and you've done the healing on the heart space here, you'll be able to make this happen. But if the heart isn't healed, you're going to pull in teachers rather than partners, people that are going to trigger the things that you need to heal. So it's worth doing the self work first before putting it into this sort of larger relationship thing. These are also both cards of wisdom. So again, I'm getting a wise old soul. So I feel like this could be really, really nice if you're ready for it, but you have to be ready because they are, they're not into playing games. That's what I kind of see for the energy coming through. If you're single and happy, lots of networking energy, great time to meet people. Feels like you're more focused on personal development and career in this month, and it could really pay off. So you're not going to be lonely unless you choose to kind of like say no to things or stay cut off. Otherwise, I see lots of organic meetings and lots of movement, and especially growth when it comes to your finances. So that's a good thing. And if you really set the intention out there, I think you have a good chance of making things happen. Okay. All right, so let's move on to your last portion here, the Destiny card. So we have financial constraints. This potentially for many of you is the big Pluto opportunity. And it's saying, I'm ending my belief that this is all there is. I'm ending my struggle with wealth, abundance. I'm ending my connection to debt. Whatever it is that is feeling like it's anchoring you, this is what you're going to say goodbye to in this moment in time. And all the cobwebs on here. So some of this is also about making sure that you're taking a look at stuff. If you haven't looked at your finances in a while, if you haven't paid attention to things, it's important to do so. It's interesting that this is 13 because that's also the number of, that's also the number of death here. So, and this is very Pluto related. Sorry, I minimized it. So here we go. This is the big lesson. 13, death, 13, financial constraints. So for many of you, you've just decided, I'm done with that. I'm not going to be limited to doing something just because, I'm afraid of letting that go because it's not enough. And you're not going to be tethered to old habits anymore. Okay? All right. We're going to do a big idea. And let me just look real quick at what I'd written for Pluto and see if there's a couple things that I want to look at. So disruption, change, and growth. Maybe those are we're going to do 3 cards. Okay. So the thing that's hard to focus on, what's getting disrupted? What has to change? And how will this help you grow? So there we go. It's all connected to finances. And we have the star coming through here too. Okay, this is good stuff, folks. So again, the first one, disruption. For many of you, you may have felt for a long time like I'm not noticed, I'm not important, or I'm not worthy. That's changing. You're stepping into the spotlight. And just like Temperance, the star now is kind of like she's found the balance. Okay? So really, really do the emotional work this month, folks, and this week rather, because it's going to help you step into the spotlight. And because I read this as a disruptor card, you may be thrown into something when you didn't expect it. Just go with it. It's not coming to you unless you deserve it. So we looked at what's going to, what did I say? It was disruption, change, and growth. Good. Okay. So for the change card, it's your finances, it's your resources, and it is also what you make of it. And hello, we have a little spider in the corner, and this is a completely different deck. So we have a nice synchronicity. So every day is a reset. This is work that you really put your heart and soul into. And it reminds me of one of my favorite childhood stories, Charlotte's Web. And at the end, spoiler alert, she has a bunch of little babies, and I believe they kind of flew away on little parachutes, except a few that stayed with Wilbur. And it's like a legacy. So your legacy is that you're going to overcome whatever challenges you have. This could be the first to go to school, the first to start a business, the first to, not have any debt, the first to buy a house. You're going to be a first in your generational and ancestral line to do something that wasn't done before. And it's your legacy. And where are we really seeing? Okay, so the last one was growth, right? Okay, so let's look at growth and see what the growth card was. Ace of Pentacles. It's just a matter of reaching for it, accepting it, believing in it, and yeah, it's creation. Now, every single ace is potential, and it's only as strong as the follow through. So you have what it takes, kid, to do this. So do it. I sound like Harrison Ford. So yeah, you have what it takes to do it. You just have to believe it. I'm talking to your inner child playfully. Are you going to take the seed and plant it? Are you going to nurture it every day? Can you see the potential too? Only if you see it will this seed grow. But couldn't ask for better cards. Just because death or Pluto comes through doesn't mean it has to be uncomfortable or bad change. The only thing that is uncomfortable for some of you is the visibility. But like as a past, present, future spread even, this is really good. You've done the work. You just have to be ready. And you have to continue to show up, folks. Okay? That's our special topic. That's a deep dive into what Pluto's really bringing through in this moment in time. So now we are going to move into the meditation. And at this point in time, I'd like you to just focus on something that you need to release or create. We're going to kind of keep it open for you. And I'm just going to paint a scene of movement. So close your eyes. We'll answer one last question at the end. And then we'll go from there. So with your eyes closed, take a deep breath and really just feel where the energy is in your body right now. Are you feeling any physical blocks? Is there any tightness in your shoulders? Is there any persistent thoughts kind of running through your head? If there is, just allow this breath to break through the block, and on the exhale, you can imagine a puff of smoke and just see it moving up towards the sun or the moon, depending on if it's night or morning, and just allow that to go out into the cosmos. I want you to keep breathing as you are thinking of different things in your life that constitute blocks. An old idea, a person, a place, a habit, and think to yourself, once and for all, I'm done with this. I no longer need it. It no longer serves me. I'm ready to open up a path to change, abundance, and growth, and I'm going to disrupt this cycle. So imagine now, if you will, that you are looking at the surface of Pluto, which is pretty icy, pretty out there, but just imagine that you can see all these little crystalline structures across the surface shining like diamonds. And each and every diamond is giving you insight, giving you ideas. I want you to pick up the one that shines the brightest. This is your Ace of Pentacles, because a diamond can be an Ace of Pentacles. And I want you to embrace that Ace of Pentacles and place it in your heart center, and allow it to prismatically shine all of the different colors in your chakra system out into the universe. And in this moment, I just want you to go into that sort of thought of creation and expansion. Where do you want to see growth? We just focused on release. So now focus on, where do I want to go? How do I want to grow? Allowing that energy to start to permeate and exist around you. Everybody, bring yourself back into your body, onto this planet. If you need to, imagine that you're traveling through a ray of light, since we're out in Pluto, coming back into this body, this lifetime, but keeping that prismatic diamond in your heart space. And really opening yourself up to receiving abundance in all of the highest forms. All right. At this point, if you haven't already done so, please open your eyes. I'd like you to turn your attention to the final question that you have for me. It can be anything. And let's see what the universe has to say. Well, we almost got to to the end of the solar system. We have expansive energy here because we have Jupiter. I'll take it. So 8 of Cups. This is really about allowing yourself to go to great new depths and directions and dimensions, taking a little bit of a break from something. So if you were asking, can I put the pause button on this? Can I do a little more research? This is about really making sure that before you leap, before you jump into something new, that you've given yourself time to consider it from all different angles. Jupiter is a planet of expansion, so by the time you get into that energy, you want to really know what it is that you want, so that your thoughts, your capacity to manifest are really kind of just focused on the possibilities. But I like what I see here. this is a time to really go big. And Eight of Cups can be overdue travel, overdue vacation, a sabbatical, a break. And it's also making and breaking cycles. So if you want to start something, start it. If you want to stop something, stop something. So very nicely aligned with Pluto as well, even though we see a different planet in that. So there you go, folks. That is the reading for today. Hope you enjoyed it. I see a lot of talk about astrology. Again, a reminder here, we're really focusing on the energy of this particular astrological event rather than going into all the degrees and all of the different specificity here, because I work with mediumship and tarot largely. I'm just kind of doing a slight touch on this because it was a popular topic with everyone. So thank you. All right, let's take a couple moments here to just wrap things up, and we'll go forward. A quick note, my schedule is going to be, speaking of Pluto's orbit, a little bit erratic this week because I'm dealing with some issues with the HVAC and other things in the home, and I'll talk about those later, but some disruptions. So the days that I put videos out will change, and I'll just announce them on the community tab. So thank you in advance for your patience. It's out of my control this week. I want to say thank you to everybody that showed up. And if you haven't already done so, please consider liking and subscribing. It's 100% free. I appreciate it. It helps the channel grow. You can also give me a follow on social media. And if you like to give back, it's optional, but it does help, and it's a great way to allow for future videos to be made. So you can give with a super sticker, super chat, or gifted membership, or become a member. Before I get into saying thanks to everybody, a reminder, I do not offer any private readings. From time to time, people pop up on social media and pretend to be me. So if someone tries to message you in any form or tries to get money from you from some suspicious account, obviously it's not me. Okay, the only way to connect is here in real time or through YouTube. Okay, all of that being said, I just want to say thanks. I'm going to take a moment here to welcome the newest members and also to say thanks to the stickers and all those that were gifted, etc. Okay, so let's see. And all that, yes. Thank you for gifting 5 memberships. I appreciate that. Thank you to Brandy for 8 months of membership. Thank you to Carmen for 15 months. That means a lot. I gifted 5 memberships, so I will welcome those new members in just a moment. Let's see here. And welcome and thanks for those 20 months of membership. I do appreciate that. All right, let me take a look now at all the members. I'm going to welcome everybody, new and returning, gifted and purchased, just to say thanks and just to say welcome. I think we have a few today, so I'll try to move at a rapid clip. So West, James, Pam, Am, Expansion Rising, Tamika, Astro Tarot, KV, A, Daniela, and Miss Tree. Let's see, we also have Erica, and I think that's everything for today. Many of you are rejoining, some of you have just joined. So welcome everybody. There'll be some perks in the coming months. Again, I'm on the precipice of launching a project in the middle of this year, so more to come on that, and I'll do some membership perks with that. But in the meantime, you get to vote twice, you help support the channel, and I occasionally take questions from members for special impromptu videos, so those are your perks there. Plus you get cool emojis, and I can see that you support me, and sometimes I do member-only chats. Okay, super stickers. It's all optional, but it's just a way for me to give back to those that are present all the time. All right, super stickers. Thank you, Cloud McFlurry, for that. I appreciate that. Ink Sight. Also, thank you for that extra bit. It means a lot. Thank you. Rosemary, Lalina, Shelly, Lulia, Jeannie, Amithaba, and I think that's everybody. I noticed a couple of unique things here. So let's see, Ink Sight, that was your 3rd super on a live stream. Thank you for that. Lalina, it's your 10th super on a live stream. Very cool. So little mini milestones for you guys out there too. I appreciate it. All right. That, my friends, is everything. I hope you enjoyed this. I certainly did. It was an important reading. It's so funny that it started off with, a little bit of disruption. So that is very much in the energy of Pluto. Sometimes things just happen. Please, if you haven't already done it, like and subscribe so that you get a notification when I do go live, even if there's something like that going on. We'll do our best. We can't always control that. All right, guys, thank you so much for your love and support. Thanks to Dakota for helping with live streaming, with the moderation, and for letting me know about the issue. I do appreciate that. And to all of you that brought it to my attention. Take care, everybody. I'll be dropping more videos this week. I do a daily card read as well. And have a good day. Do something for self-care. I think it's really important just to take care of yourself. Speaking of which, we'll bring Apollo up for a little cameo here at the end. Hey, buddy. He moved his bed pretty close to me. There we go. Yes. From Apollo and I, wishing you guys a very nice weekend. He's a little bit scruffy from all the rain that we've had and a little grumpy too from all of that, but we'll be okay. It looks like the sun is coming out. We're going to go for a walk and he's already one step out the door. Take care. Much love and light, everyone. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.